Bitcoin hype, cryptocurrency hype. Is it good? Is it bad? What's the downside? What's the upside? We cover that and more in this video. So thanks for being here. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. And of course, that's what we're talking about on just about every video on this channel. However, let's talk about this. Bitcoin, their Bitcoin hype. What is the downside? The downside is extreme volatility. Anytime you have a bunch of hype, people hear about it, there's a big thing. It's FOMO, fear of missing out. People are afraid they're going to miss out. They want to get in. They want to get in. Greed takes over. Everybody's trying to jump on board as quickly as possible. And when that happens, markets go up and they go up and they go up. But they get very erratic when there's a bunch of hype going on. Think about, the internet bubble of the late 90s, early 2000s when, any .com just about could make money. They were all considered to be undervalued. Their full potential was not able to be recognized for a season. So people were just throwing money into all these .coms. It was a bunch of hype until eventually, in that case, the music stopped. And the reason the music stopped is because people started asking things like, are we going to get our money out of these companies? Are they going to turn a profit? Bitcoin's a little bit interesting because the value is not predicated on a company turning a profit. So I want to give this disclaimer. Nothing here should be considered financial advice. Make your own opinion. But I believe that Bitcoin ultimately is going to go to the freaking moon. I believe the price is going to hit $500,000 or more, potentially $1 million per Bitcoin. I genuinely believe that's possible long term. And I can give you some very specific commentary on that later as well and show you how I came to those values. However, when there's a big volatility, when there's extreme volatility, the market can go up, the market can crash. When the market crashes, people get scared. Listen, people think they're a genius trading when the market's going up because everybody's making money. But then at some point the market pulls back, people get stuck holding the bag, so to speak, they lose money, and then, they have negative feelings. It's just like in the 90s when the market was raging forward. Everybody was a brilliant day trader. Almost everyone was making money. You buy something, hold it for a while, it's going to go up in value. And the reality is, that's how cryptocurrencies are right now. You can make money on just about any cryptocurrency right now. Just buy it and hold it. You're going to make money on almost all of them. Especially, by the way, the top 20, top 30, top 50 probably. If you buy them and hold them long enough, you're going to make some money on just about all of them. I haven't done the numbers on every single top 50 cryptocurrency to see if that's true, but I wouldn't be shocked. You see them go up double digits, go down double digits, but they tend to be going up by and large much more than they're going down. But eventually they will pull back. When they pull back sharply because of the volatility, even if they don't stay down, listen, if someone, makes an investment of $100,000 and they lose 30%, that's $30,000. Most people aren't professional traders. They can't stomach that amount of volatility. They pull out, they get burned. While they're out of the market goes back up. They miss out on the upswing. Or worse, they keep waiting for the upswing and it keeps dropping a little more and a little more. They keep thinking it's going to go up and it drops a little more. A lot of people, when they start speculating in the market, the reality is they're gambling. And so there's no way from an emotional standpoint in the short term does that end well. Most people can't time markets. And I'm willing to say almost nobody can time markets long term. But it is what it is. People are still going to try. So that's the downside. The extreme volatility, falling markets cause people to lose money. What goes up comes down really fast in the short term. When people lose money, they have negative feelings going forward. They get burned. And then they'll say things like cryptocurrency's a scam or Bitcoin's a scam. Or the bubble popped, etc. The reality is, they're going to be scared out of the market. They're not going to trust the currency. And in some ways, nor should they. When it's this volatile, it's hard to see it as a great use case for wealth or currency, quite honestly, even though in another video I talked about the best use case being a store of value. That's because it's going up so much. But when it drops 30%, 40%, 50%, 60% potentially, that's possible in this type of market. And I'm not trying to, be fearful. I believe long term it's a mega hold. But in the short term, most people cannot stomach. Most people cannot say logically, okay, no matter what, I'm just going to hold it forever. I'm going to hold it until it goes to $500,000 per coin or whatever. Most people can't do that. They see a dollar value in their wallet going up and down and they get emotional. That's just the bottom line. And once they feel burned, they're burned. Now here's the upside. Anytime there's a lot of hype, that means there's a lot of coverage, a lot of news stories. People are becoming aware of it. Overall, greater awareness. Greater awareness has to occur before mass adoption can occur, and I believe mass adoption is the ultimate goal. Also, there's a low barrier of entry. I mean, that's the upside, a lower barrier of entry. What I mean by that is, even if it crashes, the market crashes and people are hurt, they already know about it. They already know how to get in. They start using the technology. They learn how to set up a wallet because of the hype. So even if it crashes and people get hurt, if they come back around 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years later, they're more familiar with the technology. They're more familiar with how the online wallets work or the cold wallets work. They understand that a little bit better. You don't have to re-explain to them what Bitcoin is. And so that really is the upside. I believe actually the hype isn't a bad thing. I hate the volatility, the extreme volatility, 20, 30% within a few days up and down. And I hate the people getting emotional creating a bad rap. That's what I really hate about it. I hate the people getting emotional creating a bad rap for Bitcoin. But ultimately, I believe it brings greater awareness and it gets people familiar with what it is, the technology, the blockchain, what that's all about, how to use, what is mining, what is cloud mining, that they understand what altcoins are. They get familiar with coin market cap, things like that. They understand the use cases for Bitcoin. They understand the future of it as far as a currency and things like that. And that does great things long-term for Bitcoin. I believe this currency is going to change the world, and I believe it's going to change the world for people who invest in it now. But it's going to be a wild ride between now and then. I invest a few $100s, sometimes a few $1,000s a month, but I invest this money with no plans of touching it into this space. And many of you have seen my channel. You've seen my $1 billion Bitcoin strategy. You need to understand, I don't plan to touch that money. If it goes ups and downs, if it goes to zero, hey, it'll stink, but it is what it is. I'm fully prepared for it to go to zero, potentially. And I don't think it's going to go to zero. I do think that we could see a strong pullback in the market. And just like, back after 03 when Mt. Gox went down, the market pulled back and stayed flat for 2 or 3 years. That could happen again. If we see some massive government regulation come in, that could cause that to happen again. And maybe I'll do a video on what could cause the bubble to pop. And when I say bubble, I hate to use that term because I don't know that Bitcoin's actually in a bubble, but what could cause the market to pull back significantly, greater than 30%, greater than potentially 50%. However, I believe anything that could cause the market to pull back, I believe it's short term. Give it a year, 2 years, 3 years. In that time period, personally, I'm going to be consistently buying Bitcoin along the way. It wouldn't be a bad thing for me to see the market pull back that much and kind of flatten out for 2 or 3 years, because personally, and if you follow my channel and you believe like I do and slowly, consistently investing in this space, it's a good thing for us who choose to do that. When everybody is nervous and everybody else thinks it's a bad idea and everybody's moving on to the next sexy investment, those of us who are consistently buying, when the tides turn, technology catches up, Bitcoin becomes a better use case as a currency, then the market heats back up. Those of us who held on, those of us who continue to buy along the way, will get rewarded handsomely. As some major country announces that Bitcoin's their national country's national currency reserve, that's going to potentially be huge. That would be a game changer. And I believe all of that's possible. There's no guarantee any of it's going to happen. Again, this isn't financial advice. These are my personal opinions, my personal belief. Heck, you don't have to invest in this currency. I think you should research it. I think you should be aware of it. But if nothing else, stay tuned to my channel. Join me on this ride. Click that subscribe button down below. If you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm crazy, let me know. If you're a believer in this technology like I am, put a comment below. Let me know that as well. Thank you for watching. Click that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.